Hello students, so now we'll start with the last part of the chapter Reproductive Health, and it is known as Assisted Reproductive Technologies. Sorry. So Assisted Reproductive Technology is also known as ART. So as the name suggests, these are some technology or some methods which will assist or help couples that cannot become pregnant normally. Okay, a female, if she cannot become pregnant normally, a couple who cannot have babies normally, if they can have any problem with their reproductive system, then these methods will assist those couples to have a baby or a female to become pregnant. So there are various methods, we'll see one by one. The first is a test tube baby. This term is very common, a test tube baby. Now this doesn't mean that the baby is born inside a test tube. Many think of it that way. So we'll see how it is. For this method, the egg is taken from the female or the mother. Okay. It is fertilized. Fertilization should occur. Fertilized by sperms from father. It can be from father or it can be from a donor also. If the father of this, if the husband of this lady is sterile or cannot assist in producing the baby, then this person will need a donor. So that donor will give the sperms. So these sperms are taken from father or donor and fertilized with the egg in vitro. In vitro means in the lab, giving the same conditions. Okay. In vitro means outside the body, giving the same conditions. Then after this, the zygote is formed. That zygote is allowed to divide. Now, this zygote needs to be transferred again to the mother's uterus or the mother's fallopian tube. So this zygote, the transfer of zygote is by two ways. One is ZIFT. Now what is ZIFT? Zygote intra-fallopian transfer. Zygote intrafallopian transfer is done when the zygote is at a 8-cell stage. When the zygote is at a 8-cell stage, then it is put in the fallopian tube of the mother, and the rest of the process continues normally in the mother's womb. Or IUT, intrauterine transfer. That is, if the zygote is at a 32-cell stage, then it is directly transferred to the uterus of the mother. Okay, so test tube baby process is very simple. Egg is taken from the mother, sperm is taken from the father. It is fertilized in vitro, means in the laboratory given the same conditions. Zygote is formed, it divides. When the zygote is at an 8-cell stage, it can be transferred to the fallopian tube of the mother. That is known as zygote intrafallopian transfer. If the zygote reaches a 32-cell stage, it is directly transferred to the uterus of the mother. That is known as intrauterine transfer. So this much, and the rest development will take part in the uterus. So after this, the next method is GIFT. GIFT is gamete intrafallopian transfer. Now this method is only for females. Gamete intrafallopian transfer is only for females. Here egg is transferred to the fallopian tube. This is done when egg is not properly formed, or the fimbriae are not collecting the egg properly, or the egg is not formed. Then the egg from outside condition is transferred to the fallopian tube of the female. So for this, one normal fallopian tube is required. Fallopian tube, one of the fallopian tube should be normal, so that they can be transferred to it, at least one of them. So that is gamete intrafallopian transfer. So the first method, test tube baby. Test tube baby method is generally done when the fallopian tube of the female is obstructed. Something is wrong with the fallopian tube. Or in case of males, if the sperm count is less, then test tube baby is done. Then the third method is AI. This is artificial insemination. This is done if the male has oligospermia. Oligospermia is low sperm count. If the male has low sperm count, so see, if the male has oligospermia, the sperm count will be low. So in case of low sperm count, one ejaculate will have very less sperms. So 2 to 3 ejaculates are collected and together put into the fallopian tube. The rest of the process is the natural process. Only the sperms are collected and put in the fallopian tube, and there it fertilizes with the egg in the fallopian tube itself. So the sperm can be, just remember, the sperm can be from the father or the partner also, and donor also. Then next method is ICSI. ICSI is intracellular sperm injection. Here also, like artificial insemination, the sperm is directly injected to ovum, not the fallopian tube, directly injected to ovum. If the sperm is not being able to fuse with the egg or the ovum, then it is directly injected to the ovum, and the rest of the process is natural. Fertilization is done. So in case of assisted reproductive technology, you have to know these 4 methods. Test tube baby method, you can also call it as in vitro fertilization, IVF. You can also call it that because the fertilization is in vitro. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of the chapter, reproductive health.